Today we're gonna add Thanos and his animator and mess with the daylight. Okay, so that way you could start building the game starts looking a little bit more with two characters, not just with one. Okay, so we're gonna readjust the daylight. It's gonna be up to you where you want the shadows, where you want everything. We're gonna add Thanos. We're gonna add animation to him, and then we're gonna add audio source. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so let's begin, guys. Okay, so let's first play. Make sure everything is working correctly, and he is dancing. Everything's working fine, and then all of a sudden he just stops. Okay, no problem if he stops. We're gonna add a loop right now where he can continue to dance. Okay, so let me pause this and let's start doing different things. So first, let's do with the light, the light of the game. Actually, the light. Just make sure where you want to put it, how you want the shadows to go. Remember, use your hotkeys, WER and the F to find that light. Okay, just move it around. As you could see, it gets darker, it gets lighter. The shade starts moving. The mountains, they start showing a little different reflection. Remember, you can have it on this side, you can have it on the other side. It's actually up to you where you want to put the light. Okay, and just play around with it and let's see where you like it better. Remember, the light shows like if this is the sun, and it's going to show you how actually you want the sun to be from there. Okay, remember, remove the shadow, remove the sun up and down, and that's how it is. Okay, it's up to you how much shadow you want, how much darkness you want, and so on and so on. Okay, so for now, right now, let's just mess with it. Make sure you got it correct. Make sure you want the shadow on that side. Make sure you want it dark. Make sure you got it fine. Okay, and just keep going, and just move it back or move it wherever you want. Okay, from there, make sure you do save it. Okay, remember upstairs there's a little, where it says personal, there's a little star. That means it's not saved. Okay, click Control S to save it, or file save to save it. Okay, so that they let you have it set perfect. And make sure the Terrence, and you could zoom out and zoom in, make sure that daylight the way it is, you have it correct. Okay, from there, okay, let's start adding Shaggy the loops. Remember, he's already, right now he just takes a few steps, he dances for a few seconds, and then all of a sudden he just stops. So we need to make him continue dancing. Okay, so the way actually to do that, we go to, remember, find your animators, find your modes, your animators and your modes, and each one of these, if you were select, and the inspector says loop time, so just click on loop time. All that is, it's just going to loop. Once it's done, it's going to loop to the beginning and keep repeating and repeating and repeating it. That's actually a loop. It just keeps repeating it. Do that for every single one of your animations. So do that for every single one of your animations. Okay, once they're on there, as you would see, you could press play, and he's gonna actually just continue to dance. Remember, in personal, if it does have a star next to it, it's not saved. Make sure you press Control S to save, and or file save. Okay, make sure you save it because you've done all these steps, and now not saving it to lose all the work. Okay, so now we have where we have Shaggy dancing everywhere. Right here, I'm gonna go to the animator so I can show you the any status, stuff like that. Okay, so right now we have the animator of the hip hop, and make sure we do control it. Will you control the hotkeys as well? Alt with right click, left click, zoom in, zoom out, and stuff like that. So I want to have actually all four of them there, and I'm gonna start adding every single one. Gangnam Style, hip hop, every single one. Well, hip hop we have, right? The hokey pokey, the samba. I'm gonna add all the animators to the animator. I'm gonna add all the animations to the animator. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna set them up in a row, up and down, and the spell, I'm just gonna put it on top. Okay, so that way whenever we use code, it's already in the animator, and or the code knows which one to start using. So it's set up perfectly, nice. Okay, that's good. And now let's begin with, remember, save it. Let's save it. Every single time you do something, change. Every single time you do anything, save it. Make sure you start saving it. This is very important. So now let's begin with adding Thanos. Okay, so remember, go to aspects, and then go to models, and then add Thanos, and then we're gonna look for the flare, the one that says flare, we add flare. up there. So now he has appeared, but hip hop dancing, that's not Shaggy's name. So we're going to put Shaggy, his name. Remember, right click, rename, and then put Shaggy, and then Flair. That's not Thanos' name. His name is Thanos. So right click, rename, and we name him Thanos. So we know those two characters are Shaggy and Thanos. Okay. From there, let's look for Thanos. Remember, let's use our hotkey F, and he's off in the corner by himself. Okay. So let's just position him where the camera is. Remember, there's two ways. We could use the inspector to put in the numbers, or we could just start zooming out and use your hotkeys like WER to start setting him up in front of the camera. So right now I'm doing it the other way. I know I did Shaggy through the inspector. Right now Thanos, I'm going to do it through the hotkeys. So I just grab them, take them, and put them off to one side. Now he's very zoomed out. I press F to zoom back in where he's at. So he's super tiny. So the first thing we have to do is actually make him big. We know Thanos is a very, very big character, okay? He drank his milk when he was younger, so he became huge. So now I'm just going to create him big. Right now he's the size of an ant. So I'm just going to start bringing him big, making him large, making him very, very large. Okay, so he's now appearing little by little. And there he goes. There he is. Let's make him a little bit bigger. That's good with me. Now he's appearing. Half of his body's in. Remember, we could split these two screens. Okay, let's use our W key so we could start moving him. And then let's use our R key so we could just rotate him. So there he is. He's actually just like on his hands. And this is how it looks. Perfect. Let's move him a little lower so he could be touching the ground. I like always taking it a bit lower and see where the ground begins so I could have it actually nice to the ground. So it's perfect right now. Awesome. So now we're going to have to add color. To add color to Thanos, remember, we go back to our flare and we go to the inspector where it says extract texture. This is totally different from the way we did it from Shaggy. Extract texture, we select the folder, we select it, and the color came in by itself. Since it already was set up, I had it set up so the colors are just going to jump in. If you have that message, just put fix now. It's just going to fix the colors and stuff like that. Thanos looks like that right now because of the way I have the sun set up. So it's up to you how do you set up the sun the way he's going to look. So from there, we're going to have to create an animator. So remember, right click, create animator control, and we're going to have to rename that control. Okay, so we click on it and we start renaming them. Since Shaggy, we named the Shaggy AC, we know that Shaggy's animator, we're going to name Thanomator. Okay, so Thanos Mainers is his animator. Perfect. So once you have it named, drag him and add him to Thanos. I add him to Thanos. So in the inspector shows us that the Thanomator is there. Awesome. And we are going to have to add a few more things, correct? Before he starts moving. So from there, we have to add the maximum. So remember, we do Control D. This is not the correct one. Remember, the first one is not the correct one. It's only going to do a clone. So if I do it again, I'm going to show you. It's going to do another clone. See? And that's not the correct one. That's not how it's supposed to look. So let's erase these. And let's use the correct one. Okay? This could be very confusing. I did it so I could show you guys that that's not the correct one. Okay? So I'm just going to select them both. Delete. And the one on the right, we're going to have to do it Control D. It duplicates it. And from there, we're just going to rename it. Rename the one that duplicate. And we're going to name it Flare. Okay? F-L-A-I-R. So that way you know that Flare is the animator for Thanos. Okay, so what do we have to do? Go to his animator. So right now, Shaggy's selected, and Thanos, we have to select Thanos so to see his animator. If we were to select Shaggy's, if we were to select Shaggy's, we'll see Shaggy's animator, what we just did, and we're going to see Thanos, what we're going to work on Shaggy's and Thanos. Make sure you don't confuse them. So let's add the flare to Thanos. So it's already added. And let's see Shaggy's. Perfect. So you see there's a big difference. And if we were to press play right now, you're going to see them both dance. But Thanos just did one spin and that's it. He stopped. So what do we have to do? We have to loop it. Okay. Just click on the animator. Let's loop it. Let's Control S. Let's save it. Okay. And once it's saved, Let's make sure I see he's just looping and looping and looping. I have a personal with a star, so I had to save it. Control S, remember, make sure you're saving it. Saving is very important, guys. Make sure you start saving after every single step you do. So right now, what we had to do, they're both just dancing. Any good um, animator, any good designer would tell you there's something's missing. What do you think it's missing? Two people dancing, what do you think it's missing? Let's see them. So two people dancing, something is missing. What would it be? The music. Yes. So now we're gonna add the audio source. Remember, my star is there. I control this, and now we're gonna right click in the hierarchy. Let's go to audio, audio source. So that's gonna be actually our audio source. We're gonna add a song. Okay. From there, we're gonna look for the song. So we go to our assets. The audio is the very first one. So we select it, and I'm gonna use shooting star. So I go back to my audio source. I go to the inspector. I get shooting star and add it to audio clip. Okay, once I add it to audio clip, I were to press play and the music's gonna begin. Doo, doo. Okay, I would have the music going on because I have my computer on mute. I don't want no sound to interfere with the video, but you will hear the song. Okay, guys, so that's actually that easy how to do all those things. We started off with the daylight. We added the shadow, how we wanted it, what side we wanted, what time of the day we wanted it, and stuff like that. Also, we just added Thanos. We moved him. We made him huge. We add him, and he started dancing and everything. We added the loops. Okay, so those loops are actually very important. You'll see once we get in with the code. And we added an audio source. Okay, so make sure the audio source is playing on your computer. Remember, on mine, I had it on mute, so you wouldn't hear it. On yours, you should be able to hear it. Okay, so you can hear that sound and everything. And once you start dancing, the music should kick in right away, and everything should start flowing. Okay, if you have any questions, please send me a message. Besides that, stay safe, guys, and take care.